It's on you.
Shalom, we had a Heathites come in weekend to prophesy the downfall of this symbol called America. We get into it. We're gonna give all the Mosai in the true names and in the Hebrew tongue.
Ka,
Elia,
Elia,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Ba'ashem,
Ba'ashem,
Yahweh,
Shai,
Ba'ashem,
Ba'ashem,
Rakah,
Rakah, Kodash,
Ma'amah.
Ma'am,
We're gonna give double honors to the apostle GMS, all right, and the double to our elder as well. All right, Shalom, sisters pushing to keep faith in this system, man. All right.
bring that scripture. I'm trying to make sure this.
Fine.
Yeah, it ain't popped up. It ain't. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it is.
We got sound.
Oh yeah, we good.
Yeah, we good.
This is the book of 2 chapter 7, verse 14. People which are called by my name shall humble themselves and pray, seek my face, turn from their wickedness. Then will I from heaven forgive their sin and heal their land.
Heal our land, because right now we're trying to get in. You got a lot of things going on. The school system ended for a little. You got graduations going on. Have the Saturn worship. So those wicked ways that the Lord wants us from. All right, so you see what everybody for towards this world. All right, they're working towards the fashions of this world. They don't want this system right now to pass. Spend all their time praying to the system. So they pray to the gods that are by this system. All right, so our people, if our people will themselves and get off their high horse that Esau, all right, the Negroes and Native Americans themselves and pray, Lord will hear them and bring us in land and bring us back. That's the ultimate goal. We don't want to be oppressed anymore. We get out of oppression. We got to reprogram our brains like how Bashim Yahweh should think. But it's first prayer. And prayer is your word. Prayer is a part of your work in this system.
17 and 38. The covenant that I have made with you, ye shall not forget. Neither shall ye fear other gods. But Yahweh, your power, ye shall fear, and he shall deliver you out of the hands of your enemies.
All right, so that's how we get deliverance out of the hand of our enemies, man. Praying. So that's how we enter into the covenant. Somebody get Ezekiel 28 and 20. All right, so that's what we do. If we humble ourselves and pray, we'll enter into that covenant, man, set up by Yahweh. I think it is. That's it. Go ahead.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 28, verse 20. Again, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Zion and prophesy against it. And say, thus saith the Lord God, behold, I am against thee, O Zidon, and I will
no,
be.
That's not it. It might be 28 and 20. Back 20 and 20, 20 and 28.
28 and 20.
Try 20 and 28. Slack. All right.
Oh, it only go to verse 26. All right, we'll go
chapter 20, verse 28. For when I had brought Ezekiel chapter 20, verse 28. For when I had brought them into the land for which I lifted up mine hand.
Don't worry about it.
This is Exodus chapter 3, and I'm going to start at verse 7.
So what does the power of prayer do? When you pray into the right power, when you pray into Yahweh, through his son, name his son Yahweh Shai, man, what happens? All right, because he doesn't hear the prayers of the wicked, man. He doesn't hear the prayers when you pray to these other idols, man. He only hears when you pray and call upon his true name. Go ahead.
All right. This is Exodus chapter 3, verse 7. And the Lord Yahweh said, I have surely seen the affliction of my people, which are in Egypt, and have heard the cry by reason of their taskmaster.
So now this is the modern day Egypt. Esau's the modern day Pharaoh. There are taskmasters. We're in a state of bondage. Just because we don't have shackles and chains around our wrists and around our feet and around our neck doesn't mean that we're being restrained. It doesn't mean that we're not being restrained. All right.
This is Revelation chapter 11, and I'm going to start at verse 8. And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which is spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified.
And they crucified our Lord afresh by making us abide by these pagan ways, man, teaching us Christmas, Thanksgiving, Easter, and all those goes back to pagan worship. Thanksgiving is when they slaughtered the Native American Indians and took this land. So why would we celebrate those days, man? This is modern day Egypt where we went into bondage, Sodom and Gomorrah. You see what is going on. This is actually the month for all their foolishness, for all the happy piles of sticks. We're gonna leave it like that.
Zesty Mike.
Yeah.
It says,
Come
this is once I'm gonna start from the top again. This is Exodus chapter 3. I'm gonna start at verse 7. And the Lord Yahweh said, I have surely heard the affliction of my people which are in Egypt, and have heard the cry by reason of their taskmasters, for I know their sorrows.
So the Lord knows our sorrows. He knows our poverty, but we understand that we are rich. Why? Because we have the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of the true power. Yeah, you get it.
This is Revelation chapter 2, and I'm gonna start at verse 9. It says, I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich, and I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogues of Satan.
All right, so now that goes for the that's twofold. That goes for the ones that are of the circumcision, claiming to be Jews, but they're really not, because they're not going through the order that Yahweh Shai set up. All right, and those fake Jews that are in our land today, defiling our land, man. There's all types of festivals going on in Tel Aviv right now because of this month, man. On the Holy Land that forbids that type of activity. And this is what we have to witness today. And they try to force us to accept it. Anytime we teach about the laws of Yahweh Shai to the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, to let them know that they're the Israelites of the Holy Bible, we're not Africans, but they try to force that upon us. And Africanism is a Greek term. It's a land of Ham. It's a land of Cush. It's a land of Put. A land of Matazarim. All right, so they're trying to still label us under Greek terminology by calling us Negroes and try to claim themselves as being Christian. But what does it mean to be a true Christian? Christian was a derogatory term. The true worshipers of Yahweh Shai, man. And then we were called Christians in the time of Antioch. Read it in the book of Acts. So what does it mean to be a true Christian? It means to turn back to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, understand the true power. And that's how we get deliverance. All right.
We'll keep going with this. This is Exodus chapter 3. I'm gonna start at verse 8. And I am come down to deliver them out of the hand of the Egyptians, to bring them up out of that land.
To bring us up out of this land. The brother just read, and they shall be their bodies shall lie in the streets of the great city, which is spiritually Sodom and Egypt. This is where our oppression goes on. Like, our oppression didn't start here in America, man. We are oppressed in Egypt. We're oppressed in Assyria. We're oppressed in Rome. But we're oppressed right here today. All these curses are going to follow behind us and overtake us until our time of deliverance. All right, so now, how is he going to hear the cries of his people if we weren't calling upon his name? Because he doesn't hear the names of these other gods that people call upon. He only hears the prayers of the saints, man. All right?
God, it says, to bring them up out of that land and unto a good land and a large, unto a land flowing with milk and honey.
Boom, milk and honey. That's our land, Israel, man. We can't get that type of paradise here. We can get the wisdom and the understanding, that milk and honey, but the reap the fruit of the ground, we can't do that here, man. No matter how much we try to do it, we cannot do that here. This place was not meant for us to prosper. It was meant for us to be a jail cell, man, for us to be in bondage. But guess what? He's going to call a selective few to come out of that mental state of bondage and teach others that want to believe in the name of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. So you have to be equipped with the proper tools. And the first thing is prayer, man. And you got to know who to pray to.
Unto the place of the Canaanites and the Hittites and the Amorites,
all the Africans,
and the Perizzites,
yeah,
and the Hivites and the Jebusites. All right. Verse 9. It says, now, therefore, behold, the cry of the children of Israel is come unto me, and I have also seen the oppression wherewith the Egyptians oppressed them.
All right, so the prayers of the wicked are abomination to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. So therefore, we did have his name in Egypt when we were in the time of Egypt. All right. So now the prayers of the saints were heard by Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. So he sent Moses down there to deliver the people. All right, so now he's going to send Yahushua to deliver us on this side. That was all the way to 10. All right, one more verse. All right.
Verse 10. Come now, therefore, and I will send thee. I will send thee unto Pharaoh, that thou mayest bring forth my people, the children of Israel, out of Egypt.
All right, so now we're in the time of Joshua, because we're marching around Jericho, man. We're marching around Jericho trying to get the walls of this system to come down, and we get deliverance from Yahushua. That next video.
This is the book of 1 Thessalonians. Where you want me to start? Chapter 5.
Start at verse 16.
Verse 16. Rejoice evermore. Pray without ceasing.
Rejoice evermore. Pray without ceasing, man. Just like we're supposed to work in season and out of season, we're supposed to pray without ceasing, man. Constantly in prayer. Even though the spirit that's within us constantly grows and prays for us continually, we're supposed to physically pray too, man. Create that connection, man. Create the highway from Yahweh to Yahweh, from your vessel to Yahushua to Yahweh, man. Show others that are in like mind how to get to the kingdom. Because there's no place here for us, man. There's no mental place here for us, and there's no physical place here for us. How many times they gotta kill our people in the streets and coerce our people to kill each other in these streets? For y'all realize, man, they ain't for us, man. This system is not nowhere for us. All the way to 18.
This is verse 18. In everything give thanks, for this is the will of Yahweh.
All right, we give thanks for being able to obtain this truth, man, and understand the will of Yahweh by Shem Yahushua, man. And that's a beautiful thing, because we're coming into times where nobody's gonna understand what's going on, man. It's gonna be gross darkness on the land, and these people's hearts are waxed worse and worse. Meaning they already don't give a damn about us. All right, we could die in the streets and we won't get no justice. This place was not set up to give us justice. It was set up for our judgment to get punished. All right, so now the true believers in Yahweh by Shem Yahushua want to be delivered out of this, man. How do we get delivered? It starts with prayer and understanding who your power is. Your Father's name is Yahweh. His son's name is Yahushua. All right, go ahead.
The book of Acts, chapter 4, verse 12. Neither is there salvation in any other, for there is none other name under heaven given among men whereby we must be saved.
All right, so that's the only name that we can call upon. So if you're not calling upon that name in prayer, he will not hear you. All right? He will not hear you. Period, point blank. All right? Oh, hold on. Let me have a piece of it. Go ahead.
Esau and him want to be down with us.
Yeah.
This is book of Psalm 37 and 39. But the salvation of the righteous is of the Lord. He is their strength in the time of trouble.
All right, Yahushua is our strength in the time of trouble. All right. So in weakness, we show strength. So we're weak. We're considered weak to all the other nations. All right, but in 1 Corinthians chapter 1, the scripture says, the Lord hath made the weak things of the world to take down the mighty. All right, so we're the weak things of this world that's going to take down the mighty. We're taking down this system because we're putting knowledge, wisdom, and understanding through the spirit of Yahweh by Shem Yahushua into our people, man. We're taking away the stigmas and all the false byword names that they want to call us African American. How can you be two different places at one time? Two different lineages at one time? That doesn't make any sense. Called by two different Greco-Roman men's names. Scipio Africanus and Americus Vespucci. How are we going to continue to take upon these names instead of being called the righteous child of the children of Israel? They don't want us to be called by that. And they don't want us to call in the name of the Father because they know every time we call upon him, he come deliver us. And this is going to be our last deliverance. All right. Yahushua is the on the thought. Once he shows up, all this is over. It's over now. It's over now, but we're just waiting for the manifestation of it for the rest of the world because we can see it. Because we have the eyes of Yahweh Yahushua.
Acts chapter 6, verse 4. But we will give ourselves continually to prayer and to the ministry of the word.
The ministry of the word, meaning the servitude, the service of the word. So we're going to continue to pray and do this work. Because prayer is part of the work, man. Prayer is part of the work. Somebody get no, go ahead, get that.
This is Philippians chapter 4, verse 6. Be careful for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known unto Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua.
Make your requests be made, man. Come on, man. Gird your loins like a man when you sit down to pray. Man, don't have no wavering in your heart. Don't be careful for nothing. Because the Lord said he will deliver. If it's according to his will, he will give it unto you, man. So don't come and praying with feeble knees, man, and a feeble heart. Man, come pray, man. Gird yourself like a loin, like gird your loins like a man, and present yourself as a Yahweh Shai has presented us to this world, man. You know? So he's given us some knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to understand his word, to profess his word unto these nations, condemning the ones that should be condemned, and uplifting the ones that need to be uplifted to become part of his elect. Oh, you got to press up. No, Ezekiel 9:4.
It's Ezekiel chapter 9, verse 4. And the Lord said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and cry. So like that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof.
And that's us. That's what we're doing right now on the highways and byways, sighing and crying for all the abominations done in the midst of Israel. Meaning, because we're scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, we got to sit there and witness to all the abominations that these other nations try to make us a part of. All right, because what is it? It was a seduction. All right, so what does the scripture say? Was it Proverbs 26:12, or it might be 12? It says the righteous is more excellent than his neighbor, but the ways of the wicked seduces them, man. All right. So now we got to sit here and be a witness to all the abomination that goes on in this world, right? And the ones that are of the elect are going to sigh and cry.
It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 12, verse 26. The righteous is more excellent than his neighbor.
So we were set up to be righteous, man. But the ways of the wicked seduce us. Keep going.
But the way of the wicked seduceth them.
All right, so the wicked are estranged from the womb. So they're set up to be wicked. All right, so now us seeing all the abominations that go on in this earth, 2/3 of our people wanted to partake in the foolishness that these other nations were doing and follow behind their tradition instead of following behind our own. So since we refuse to follow behind our own tradition, somebody give Jeremiah 17:4. So since we refuse to follow behind our own tradition and try to follow behind the tradition of these nations, the Most High punished us. All right.
This is Jeremiah 17:4. And though even thyself shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not. For ye have kindled a fire in mine anger, which shall burn forever.
All right, so that forever is talking about a long period of time. All right, so now that anger of the Lord is slowly coming to an end, because you see the prophecies manifesting, and Yahweh Shai is on his way to return. So our heritage was taken away from us. So we chose to try to go after the tradition of these other nations instead of following behind our own tradition. So he respectfully took it away from us. Now we're trying to gain it back.
You're talking about America.
Go ahead.
This is Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 8. The parable.
Go ahead.
Because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee, because of men's blood, for the violence of the land, of the city, and of all that dwell therein.
All right, because the scripture say, woe to the bloody city. All right, and that's America. All right, so now everything's going to be taken away from them by violence, man.
Right. Woe to him that coveteth an evil covetousness to his house, that he may set his nest on high, that he may be delivered from the power of evil.
And that's how he's trying to do. He's trying to set his nest on high. He does that in his mind, but he also, when he put those satellites up there trying to see everything, all right, set up their riches and set up the system that we see, this monetary money system that we see.
Right, so their family can inherit it.
Right, so their family can inherit it, so they can pass on. But what do we try to pass? We pass on generational curses to our people. You get what I'm saying?
Right. It says this: thou hast consulted shame to thy house by cutting off many people, and have sinned against thy soul. That's the point. For the stone shall cry out of the wall, and the beam out of the timber shall answer it. So who is that? That's our people crying out, and also us witnessing against it. That's what it says. The beam talking about crying shall answer it, meaning going to witness against it. So you got brothers crying out to the Lord, and you got us out prophesying against it. So it's correct.
It's right, for this place is done. That's, we're giving a testimony of their wickedness, man.
For the stone shall cry out of the wall, and the beam of the timber shall answer it. Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood, and establisheth a city by iniquity.
And how was America established? through rape, robbing, and pillaging, man. All right, they killed the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans and changed our identity. All right, stole our identity. Those are the Esau's the true culture vultures, man. You know, they stripped us of everything and gave us their gods, gave us their traditions, gave us their ways. And when we try to revert back to our ways as a people, they want to say that we're brute beasts. They want to say that we're teaching hate, but they can teach the love for their people all day. And you see the love for their people by the foundations of America. They're reaping the benefits of our ancestors' bloodshed and tears, man. They're reaping the benefits of it. So if they really cared about us, they would give us all this. They would give us America because we rightfully built America, but they don't want to do that. They'll say, oh, we weren't around for that time period, but you're still reaping the benefits. And scripture that y'all pass things down from your generation to your generation, your generation. Your forefathers set it up for you guys to live like this.
I wasn't born in that time, but yet we still slaves.
All right.
This is the book of Daniel 9 and 7. Oh Lord, righteousness belongeth unto thee, but unto us confusion of faces.
So we're all in shame, man, because of our transgression. So that confusion of face means shame.
As at this day, to the men of Judah and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem and unto all Israel that are near and that are far off through all that country whither thou hast driven them because of their trespass that they have trespassed.
And that's why we're driven around the four corners of the earth, because of our transgression. All right, but now at the time that our calamities have come to an end, Esau still ain't letting up. He's still going balls to the wall. That's what they like to say. Balls to the wall. They still going all gas, no brakes. They'll persecute us all the way till we were consumed. We wouldn't be anything anymore if the Lord would allow them to do it, but he won't allow them to do it. Go ahead.
Psalm 107, verse 13 and 14.
John 5 and 14.
Then they cry out to Yahweh Shai in their trouble and save them out of their distress. Verse 14, he brought them out of darkness and the shadows of death.
All right, so now, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, America, I will fear no evil. Why? Because Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is here to deliver us, man. He's delivering us right now by giving us his word. Because think about it, we were in utter darkness. We didn't know who we were as a people. We're sitting here trying to claim to be Africans. I got a testimony of my sister. She's a doctor. She went over to Africa to study medicine. They told her she wasn't an African. They told her to her face, you are not one of us. They know that we're not Africans. They know that. But they keep trying to put that stigma upon us. We're not Africans. We're the top nation on this earth, man. The children of Israel, the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans.
End of verse 14. Okay. And broke their chains in pieces.
All right, so now the chains are being broken in pieces. Why? Because of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Hosea 4 and 6 says, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. All right, if we had acknowledgement of he had to take away who we were as a people in order for us to be put away in the bondage by these devils, man. Man, he took the basest men on earth to bring us low, brought us down to their position. But our people want to get an understanding of their philosophies instead of coming to back to our wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Somebody get Deuteronomy chapter 4. Go ahead.
All right, this is the book of Micah, chapter 2, verse 10. It says, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. Because it is polluted, it shall destroy you, even with a sword destruction.
So now, just think about it. Arise ye and depart. So when it's knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, do you just sit there and study and just keep it all to yourself? Wouldn't you want your brother next to you to depart from this evil too? Do you want your fellow man resting in this place that's not meant for them to rest? Wouldn't you want to tell them how to get up out of this situation? So that's why we have to do the work. We got to tell our people that don't know that they're Israelites, that they're Israelites. We're scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, so we will look like these other nations, but that spirit is going to bear witness unto who you are. All right, so you each one, reach one, and teach one. That's the only way we're going to come up out of this thing. Go ahead.
This is 2 Timothy 2 and 24. The servant of the Lord must not strive, but be gentle unto all men, apt to teach, and patient, and meekness, instructing those that oppose themselves
if Yahweh peradventure will give them repentance to the acknowledging of the truth, and that they may recover themselves out of the snare of the devil, who are taken captive by him at his will.
At his will. So that's how we bring our people out of bondage, man. Giving them the understanding of the truth. Letting them know what mindset that they should be in. Let them know what manner of conversation, meaning their action. All right, go ahead.
All right, this is the book of St. John, chapter 8, verse 32. And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free.
That's freedom. That's freedom, man. That's how they hold us in bondage through these lies. And we're feeling around in the dark. Majority of our people are groping around in the dark, and that was a curse on us. We shall grope around at noonday like as if we were in darkness. That's how we're going to grope around, because of lack of understanding, man. So if you don't understand anything, you'll fall for anything, man. Go ahead.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 29. And thou shalt grope at noonday.
Go up one verse.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 28. The Lord shall smite thee with madness and blindness and astonishment of heart.
Madness, blindness, and astonishment of heart, man. That's us being discontinued from our heritage. Not knowing who we are, not knowing shit about this universe. Not knowing that we come from the Creator himself. That not knowing we were built to be like-minded like the Creator, like Yahweh, man, through the spirit of Yahweh Shai. But now, because of this system that we're in bondage to, we grope around like we grope around in darkness. That's lack of understanding. That's why they call us black. Black means void, and we take upon that name. Ain't none of us up here black. We're different shades of brown. Keep going.
And thou shalt grope at noonday as the blind gropeth in darkness, and thou shalt not prosper in thy ways, and thou shalt be only oppressed and spoiled evermore, and no man shall save thee.
No man shall save us. Not the Black Panthers, not Martin Luther King, not none of them, not Malcolm X. None of them, man, are gonna save us. They're gonna put us in more bondage. Because why? Because we don't understand the fight. That's not the fight that we were given to fight. This is the fight that we were given to fight. A spiritual warfare, man. Tearing down the strongholds that are set up, that are put on the minds of our people, man. Causing our people to beef with one another. Our people will kill another brother off a street that's owned by these by the devil. Off a block that's owned by the devil.
Hey, look at it. Hey, can you skip over to Deuteronomy 28 and 21, brother? Daniel 7 with the Roman Empire. It's a parable dealing with the Roman Empire right here. This will let you know that the Roman Empire was going to be under. In Deuteronomy 28. Not just the eagle, not just the ships. But check this out. Let's, go ahead. 21. Yeah, 21 all the way to 23.
It's back at Deuteronomy chapter 28.
You know the part about the iron.
Starting at verse 21. The Lord shall make the pestilence cleave unto thee until he have consumed thee from off the land, whether thou goest to possess it. The Lord shall smite thee with a consumption, and with a fever, and with the inflammation, and with a extreme burning, and with the sword, and with blasting, and with mildew, and they shall pursue thee until thou perish.
All right, so we're gonna.
No, that's good. That's the ghettos.
Yeah,
that's everything we're going through. Deal with in the ghettos, man. All these sicknesses, diseases, because of the curses. Our people under the curses, and Esau made $1 billion industry off of the curses. Pork, you know, the sodomy, seafood, you know, all the bottom feeders of the earth. You know, the industry, the music industry. Everything bad that Jake liked, Esau found a way to capitalize off of it. That's what they are, capitalists.
And we live in a capitalist society. It's all about the money. All right, they try to fool you and make you seem like this system is a democracy system, but it's a really capitalistic system, man. It's all about the money.
This is Daniel chapter 7, verse 7. It says, and this I saw in the night vision, and behold, a fourth beast, dreadful and terrible, and strong exceedingly, and it had great iron teeth. It devoured and brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with the feet of it, and it was divided, it's like a diverse from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns.
That's major, man. That's talking about the Roman Empire, right? The 10 common markets, but it's talking about the harsh punishment that the Lord was going to let Esau
put on us, man. Well, he said, the sword, deliver me from the wicked, which is that sword. But he said Esau come down with great wrath. And that's what they've been doing. They've been coming down with great wrath, man. That's their job, to be the wrath of the Lord.
The hammer of the earth.
The hammer of the earth. All right, go ahead, Gabar.
Goodbye.
And get to the point and get back to the light. But the iron, so we under a system that's set up like iron, man. You know, harsh punishment on our people, man. You know, you had the Greek Empire. They didn't take away all our customs. What did the Roman Empire? As soon as it started bleeding toward the Greco-Roman Empire, that's when you get what's his name? Antiochus Epiphanes. He was the first one of his family members, the wicked root, that took away our rights, man. Took away our beliefs. You know, tried to start Hellenizing our people.
And made a decree to where it was unlawful for us to even call ourselves Israelites.
Right.
We couldn't even call ourselves as Israelites anymore. We had to call ourselves Romans.
Not Greeks and Romans. They had that whole setup dealing with the Congress and their whole Senate. All right, they said all that. That was the beginning of their system to trap us.
And it's revised right now according to Revelation chapter 13.
Right.
It's revised. Go ahead.
I got Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 23. And thy heaven that is over thee, thy head shall be brass, and the earth that is under thee shall be iron.
Boom. So what's the point of your lesson? Now we can pray. See, at that time, the Lord was saying, our head over us is going to be brass, meaning you can pray all you want. Some prayers going to hit the ceiling. And if you look down to the earth for any help, it's going to be iron unto you. See that? So who was ruling? That matches with that. Esau. So in the midst of when we're in the situation of iron, that's what it's going to lean over to Deuteronomy 30. Where the curse is going to be flipped back on them. Right? We wasn't under that harsh punishment under the Africans, the Arabs, the Syrians, you know. But under Esau, that Roman Empire, they put that iron. You know, that's why the Lord said He's going to rule them with a rod of iron. I mean, it's going to be harsh judgment, man. All right.
So now that we're at the bottom,
when we prayed, the Lord wasn't going to hear our prayers. When we look to the earth, we were going to be in a bad predicament, hell on earth. You know, and now we have a chance to be free.
So now comes in where if people will humble themselves and just pray, then I shall hear them and deliver them. So now we're in that time period.
We're in that time period.
The Sirach 35 and 17, the prayer of the humble pierceth the clouds until it come nigh, he will not be comforted. And will not depart to the Most High, shall be home to judge righteously and execute judgment.
You hear that? So the prayer of the humble will not cease from praying until they reach Yahushua and He comes and delivers them, man. You get what I'm saying? So now we're in that time of prayer, man. Now we're in that time of deliverance. So we gotta do this work. Prayer is an action word. Faith is an action word. All right. If you have faith in something, you're gonna pray for it. If you have faith in something, you're gonna do works towards it. All right. What's the somebody got the
1 John.
Yeah.
1 John 5.
I got 14. This is you got it?
Okay. 1 John chapter 5, verse 14. And this is the confidence that we have in Him, that if we ask anything according to His will, He heareth us. And if we know that He hear us, whatsoever we ask, we know that we have the petition. We know that we have the petitions that we desired of Him.
All right, so now that's our petition. We're signing a petition by coming out here and doing this work. All right, start at the beginning of that again.
First John chapter 5, verse 14. And this is the confidence that we have in Him.
So gird your loins like a man. This is the confidence that we have in Yahushua. Yahushua. We come down in prayer according to His will. He's going to answer. So now let's just say individuals like that, like ISUPK, they have the name of the Lord, but you can honestly see that they pray against the Most High's will, man. They're not trying to get deliverance out of this place, having a 501c3 charter. They're trying to partake in this kingdom and get money and get riches off of it, using the name of the Lord for that, man. So the Lord that's going contrary to His will. Keep going.
That if we ask anything according to His will, He heareth us.
All right, so now you have to be able to understand what His will is, according to 1 Corinthians chapter 2. 1 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 16 says, we shall have the mind of Yahushua so He can instruct us. All right, that was it.
Verse 15.
No, that's it.
Isaiah 49 and 8.
Thus saith Yahweh, in an acceptable time have I heard thee.
Boom,
And
in an acceptable time. So during that time when he read in Deuteronomy, that wasn't the time he was going to hear us. But this is the acceptable time.
Thus saith the Lord, in an acceptable time have I heard thee, and in a day of salvation have I helped thee, and I will preserve thee and give thee for a covenant of the people to establish the earth, to cause to inherit the desolate heritage.
Somebody get 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 9 real quick. He said he's going to preserve us, man. Preserve us.
2 Peter chapter 2, verse 9. The Lord knoweth how to deliver the godly out of temptation.
Boom. So we're going to be preserved all the way to the end, bro. All right.
And to rescue the unjust unto the day of judgment,
And to
be
reserve
punished.
the unjust to the day of judgment, to be punished, man. To be punished, Zaquan.
All right, I'm gonna read that again. This is the beginning part. Isaiah 49 and 8. Thus saith Yahweh, in the acceptable time have I heard thee. Right? Let me go to 9. That thou mayest say to the prisoners, go forth. So we can do that because we're able to pray now, because that spirit is on it, right? That
So that's why he sent all the Bivens for the marking of that time period.
Right.
Elijah to come down there. Okay, now it's time for them to pray for deliverance because we're at that moment. We're at that time.
It's that crying out and the being,
Huh.
you know what I mean? You turn the heart to the fathers to the children.
Huh.
And the apostles established the prophets.
Huh.
All right. That thou mayest say to the prisoners, go forth. That's what we do.
Huh.
We go what? He said that they may go to the gates of the noble. To them that are in darkness, show yourselves.
Show yourself as being the light, man. Go back, John in chapter 1. Show yourself being the light, man. Don't hide in darkness when you have the light. Let that light shine so the prisoners can see the way to go, man.
Yeah, man. The ones that push to the corner.
Huh.
Can't forget about them, man. Tell them to come forth and show your light, man.
Huh.
Show yourselves. That's like the movie Frozen. I got daughters. They shall feed in the ways. How they feeding in the ways? Just right here. This what we eat. But he's saying Song of Solomon. They feeding them by the barn. Where is that? Solomon 1 and 5? Yeah, I'm gonna tell you too far.
No, good.
1 and 5, I think it is. It said where are they going to feed the feet? Yeah. Where is that? The 5 and 1. You know, talking about the Song of Solomon, that poem. Yeah, I'm gonna keep on with this stuff.
Okay, come on.
That thou mayest say to the prisoners, go forth, and to them that are in darkness, show yourselves. They shall feed in the ways, in their they say pastures. They say pastures.
Song of Solomon 1 and 5.
Yeah.
No. Does it say Pastor 1 and 5?
No, I gotta get it. Somebody get this real quick. Isaiah 49 and 9. Isaiah 49 and 9. Isaiah 49 and 9.
This is
Yeah, go ahead, brother. Keep going with it.
This is Isaiah chapter 49, verse 9. That thou mayest say to the prisoners, go forth to them that are in darkness. Show yourselves. They shall feed in the ways, and their pastures shall be in all high places.
And what did Yahweh ask Peter? He said, lovest thou me? Lovest thou? He asked him 3 times. And he said, feed my sheep. And this is the process that we're feeding our people, letting them come back into remembrance of who they are. The Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, the ones that have been like mutilated here on this land. It's our time of salvation for us to come back in the remembrance of who we are as a people, man. Not letting them tell us who we are, letting Yahweh Bashim Yahushai tell us who we are. Because if you don't know your own worth, a person in front of you can choose the value that they perceive of you. And then you'll start to perceive it and believe it yourself. All right.
That's where they feed at, right?
Right.
Feed them, pastor, right?
Right.
Go ahead, brother.
This is Song of Solomon, chapter 1, verse 8.
Yep.
If thou know not, O thou faithful, if thou know not, O thou fairest among women, go thy way forth
by the footsteps of the flock.
See, that's what the Lord's saying to us, and that's what he sent us to do, to tell them to go their way by the footsteps of his flock. What's that? By the men of the Lord that's teaching the truth on the street.
Right.
Sincere.
And feed thy kids beside the shepherd's tent.
Right, talking about the children of Israel feeding the men of the Lord by the shepherd's tent. What's that? The house of David.
Good.
Right, the shepherd's tent represents Yahweh Shai.
Good.
All right, go ahead.
Verse 9, I have compared thee, O my love, to a company of horses and Pharaoh's chariots.
All right, that's the point. That's right.
And then what is the first thing that was said? Thou fairest among women. All right, so we're beautiful as a nation through these laws, statutes, and commandments and the wisdom of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai.
This is Jeremiah chapter 3. I'm gonna start at verse 15. And I will give you pastors according to my heart, which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding. This is a precept to back up the elder, how the Lord set up his prophets to feed his sheep, man. All right, and the Lord blesses his men. He blessed us, all right, starting with Apostle all the way down to feed our people this wisdom, man, to wake them up from out of that spiritually bondage that they are in.
Ezekiel 33 and 6. But if a watchman see the sword come and blow not the trumpet, and the people be not warned, if the sword come and take any person from among them, he is taken away in his iniquity, but his blood will I acquire at that watchman's hand. All right, so now that's that, and we have a responsibility by obtaining the truth to go out and warn our people of what's to come. Man, this place is about to be destroyed, man. All right, America, the system, man, the world debt is at its highest it's ever been. And guess who owns the majority of that world debt? America and Great Britain own the majority. Come on, man. These are the two front runners that deal with the IMF. The EU. Britain is a part of that. Hey, so it's a mother, so it's a daughter. So is the mother, so is our daughter, man. So this is the branch off, because America was established from over there and brought over here, man.
And like it says, so as the mother as the daughter. You know, Great Britain is the mother of America, man. Just to break it down.
All right, you have some more on the keeper. All right, somebody get
because America is the daughter of Babylon, man, which is going to be destroyed, man. All right, that's why the Lord had Jeremiah to prophesy of this upcoming prophecy.
Oh, y'all just read Jeremiah 50? Nah. This is Jeremiah 50 and 12. Your mother shall be sore confounded.
So eventually, Britain, England, eventually, they're going to get tired of America's shit, and they all going to turn against America, man. They said, these shall turn and hate the whore, man.
Right. Your mother shall be sore confounded. She that bare you shall be ashamed.
And they were really ashamed when Trump got in office, boy.
Behold, the hindermost of the nations shall be a wilderness, a dry land, a desert.
And that's what America's created. America has made the whole world a wilderness, barren of understanding and learning. So that's why all these nations are foolish, falling behind the ways of America, man.
I got little piece of real quick.
Jeremiah 51.
Yeah. What it says, make the nation mad. Yeah.
All
right. This is Jeremiah chapter 51. I'm gonna start at verse 6, but the point is in verse 7. Flee out of the midst of Babylon and deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquity, for this is the time of the Lord's vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense. All right, and the Lord speaking that he's saying that unto our people. All right, to flee out of Babylon, out of this place, man, meaning mentally, man, not physically. All right, cast off the old ways and put on the new ways. All right, because the Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans are the children of Israel. Father's name is Yahweh, and the son's name is Yahweh Shai, because it just says we enter into the Lord's vengeance, man. All right, the Lord is going to pay back these nations for what they did unto his people and also crucify him, man.
See, so you can either enter into his vengeance or enter into his rest. I prefer his rest, because the scripture says rest is glorious, all right? But his wrath is going to bring utter destruction to this place. Let's go ahead.
Babylon has been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. All right, because the other nations been following after the philosophies of America, man. And now they turning against America. And all you see on news of other nations threatening to bomb America, man. All right, want to go to war with America. All right, but a lot of our people going to be over here and going to be destroyed in this land, man. All right, and these heathens that's over here, man. All right, because the nation is mad, man.
And they also foolish, man. All right, they're also foolish because they've been drinking off the philosophies of America, man. They're foolish. So with that being said, eventually they're gonna realize, hold on, we've been hoodwinked, and then eventually they're gonna realize that, and then they're gonna turn against America.
And if I may add on about that, like the brother was saying, when you go into that Jeremiah 51:6 or 7, when it goes into that word mad, it means foolish, man. And the way these nations are foolish, all right, as of today, all right, you basically got China basically saying they need to resort to nuclear warfare with America, man. Why? Because basically Biden is pointing the finger at them over the whole Wuhan thing with the whole, with the quote unquote pandemic, So with that being said, America pointing the finger at China, and basically America want basically everybody to back them up, going against China with what they call it, the Chinese flu. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, they want to, we going to go against China with very few evidence, man. And basically China's trying to pull up everything to prove that America had to do with this, man. Even with that being said, Vladimir Putin also said it as well. It's a center in Atlanta, outside of Atlanta, Georgia, all right, that does that, which is also, that's where the CDC is located, man, in Atlanta, Georgia.
Right. So all it is just a political ploy for these nations to go to war with each other. So this is what they tell the public eye, oh, it's because of this, it's because of that, it's because of this. But ultimately, it's for money, man, and it's for political gain. So that's why, but they're going to paint a picture saying, oh, we have to do this for the sake of our nation. No, they have to do that for the sake of their own thought process, or to bring forth the new world order, man. And next coming is that Revelation 13:16, the chip, man. They're gonna start putting that in everybody.
And if I may add on to that, you got the vaccines. I just said an article this morning.
Yo. We're gonna get off that topic real quick. We're gonna get off that. Let's get Colossians chapter 4, verse 2.
It's Colossians chapter 4, verse 2. Continue in prayer and watch in the same with thanksgiving. With all prayer also for us, that Yahweh would open unto us a door of utterance.
And that's our door of utterance. All right, give us a place to speech, man. That's our Thanksgiving. Because at one point in time, we weren't even allowed to profess these things that we're able to speak now. Why? Because we didn't know it. We didn't know it. Now he created that open door, and he sat down and supped with us. The Father and the Son sat down and supped with us and give us the Holy Spirit to be able to come out and do this, man. What did King David say? Thou desire wisdom in thy inward parts. And further lower down, he said, teach me to know thy way so I can go out and teach others. And that's how we do it, man.
Revelations 11:8. And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified.
And you understand that being America, and they crucify the Lord afresh by constantly causing our people to go off, man, and transgress against Yahweh Shem Yahushai.
And they of the people and kindreds and tongues and nations shall see their dead bodies 3 days and a half.
So that's 350 years that they ain't gonna even allow us to for us to give any kind of unction of who we are as a people.
And shall not suffer their dead bodies to be put in graves.
So we will not be laid to rest, meaning getting any type of understanding. So they're going to try to keep that understanding away from us. All right.
And they that dwell upon the earth shall rejoice over them and make merry, and shall send gifts one to another, because these two prophets tormented them that dwelt on the earth. That's funny, because the other day we had a guy come out that was catching an alligator I was talking about. And I had my children on the balcony, right? And he was an Edomite. And as I'm talking to him, I was like, yeah, so you gonna put some bait out there? He said, yeah, I just gotta find some bait. I was like, go in the house. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because they used to use our children as alligator bait, man. That's right. Gator bait. And what gifts of that were they sending back? They were sending slaves back and forth, man.
I still don't trust the ass.
No, I don't either. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't, bro. Like, for real, because if it wasn't for these laws that are in place for them to for it to cover up their hatred that they have towards us, they would outright blatantly display it, man.
Right. It says these two prophets tormented them that dwelt upon the earth.
That's why they don't want us to come back in the remembrance of who we are, because we're gonna torment them with these laws, statutes, and commandments. That's why they beheaded John. So Sean tormented like, no, you can't have her. That's your brother's wife.
Yeah, and tormented them with prayer.
Con.
With Hezekiah against Sennacherib.
Con.
Sennacherib tried to get, he was talking to Israel. He said, yo, don't listen to Hezekiah. He said, look what I just did to all these other nations. Didn't they have gods? And their gods didn't defend them.
Mm-hmm.
But when Hezekiah prayed, the prayers went into the ears of Yahweh.
Mm.
He said, I have heard you this day, and they will not enter Jerusalem.
And in the situation with Barak and Balaam, where he tried to get him to put the curse on the children of Israel. He said, he can't. How can I put a curse on something that Most High is blessed?
Yep. And he said to Sennacherib, he said, tell Sennacherib, you ain't just come up against Hezekiah, you came against me.
Mm.
And you said disrespecting the Most High like that.
Huh.
So this is your point. Revelation 11:11. And after 3 days and a half, the Spirit of life, the Holy Spirit, from Yahweh entered into them, and they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them.
So in the 1960s, you had an individual by the name of Abba Bivens, who was Elijah, returning the hearts of the children back to the Father. And this is the manifestation of that you see today. You see men who were standing in great boldness in the faces of their oppressors that afflicted them, man, and gave no account for their labors. If somebody want to get that. So that's the point. You get that Malachi real quick, and then somebody get Wisdom of Solomon chapter 5.
This is Malachi chapter 4. I'm going to start at verse 5. Behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet before the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord.
And the beautiful part about that, if you think about what was going on around the earth at that time, where you had Abba Bivens out there by himself teaching, you had a rise in the Muslim community, you had a rise in the Christian community, you had the civil rights movement, you had the Black Panthers, you had all these things going on that trying to liberate our people, and you had little Abba Bivens in the midst of all that, showing you the power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Where are the Black Panthers today? Where are the civil? You could call them Black Lives Matter or NFC or whatever, NFA or whatever. But that's all that was set up by Esau. All right, just to deter the minds of our people. But what do you still have here standing boldly, man? Somebody get that?
Hey, the light.
The light. Go ahead.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 1. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him and made no account of his labor.
So they don't make account for our labors at all. We built this city on bloodshed and tears, man, not rock and roll. We built it. That's how America was established, and they gave no account for our labors. They tell us to get over it. They ain't give us no reparations. We don't want no reparations. The Lord don't want us to have any of these reparations for these people, because He's gonna turn the recompense on they swiftly upon their own head. Go ahead.
This is 2 Maccabees, chapter 6 and verse 13. For it is a token of his great goodness when wicked doers are not suffered any long time, but forthwith punished. For not as with other nations, whom the Lord patiently forbear to punish, till they become to the fullness of their sins.
So he wants them to come to the fullness of their wickedness. He wants all that. The Lord wants all the smoke for real. He, like, matter of fact, Jacob's trouble. He gonna have Esau turning up again, just to turn up his anger. The more Esau turns it up, the more angry of the Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is gonna get. And he went light on the Egyptians, man. He went light on all these other nations, man, through the time of our captivity. That's why he made this the worst captivity that we're going through, because he wants to go heavy on. He want all the smoke from Esau, man. And all these other nations that band with Esau to try to fight against Yahushua when he shows up at that time, Lord gonna tell him he want all the smoke. He gonna zap him. Go ahead.
This is Zechariah chapter 1. I'm gonna start at verse 15. It says, and I am very sore displeased with the heathens that are at ease, for I was but a little displeased, and they helped afford the affliction.
So now they feel like the Lord forgot about us, but He didn't. He said He's sore displeased, man. It hurt. He's anguish and pain, like he's furious, man. So imagine what's gonna happen when He part them skies. That's why you're seeing the rising of the chariots, man. They playing with these warships out there, man. Got them trembling in fear, circling around them and everything. They don't know what the hell's going on. Splash, splash, splash. Let's go real quick.
Just to finish off his point. Revelations 2:9. I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich.
The most beautiful nation on the most beautiful among women, man. We are rich, man. We got the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of Yahweh Shai. The only ones that can get it on this earth are the Israelites.
And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan.
So those are the worshipers of Satan over there reading the Babylonian Talmud and having all these Tel Aviv damn parades over there. Yeah.
Right. Revelations 3:9. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. Behold, I will make them to come and worship before thy feet, and to know that I have loved thee.
So now the Lord, they calling themselves the Lord's people, but the Lord gonna thump the shit out of them, move them out the way, and put us in that rightful land, man. For real, like the Lord's gonna do them so dirty, like shamefully dirty, like that's why all these other nations like this, the man, like for real, man. The Lord gonna strip them of everything, man. Before he comes to destroy, he gonna, man, listen. He said, "Come sit down in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon."
This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 14. It says, "For the hope of the ungodly is like dust that is blown away with the wind."
So that's talking about your new world order. That's what they're hoping to establish.
Like a thin froth that is driven away with the storm, like as the smoke which is dispersed here and there with a tempest, and passeth away as the remembrance of a guest that tarrieth but a day.
As a remembrance of a guest that tarrieth for a day. So the triumphant of the wicked is for a short moment, and he's gonna be forgotten about, man. Man, come on, man. Go ahead, sorry, I forgot.
Exodus chapter 7, verse 5. This is earlier what you were speaking on. And the Egyptians shall know that I am the Lord when I stretch forth my hand upon Egypt and bring out the children of Israel from among them.
Man, listen. He said at that time we had said it was the Lord that brought us out of the land of Egypt. We shall not say that no more, but we shall say it was the Lord that brought us out of the land of the north, man. Oh yeah, you can get it. So you got punishment coming from these other nations, man. Especially America. America's gonna be that example, bro. All right.
Hebrews 12:6. For whom the Lord loveth, he chasteneth, and scourgeth every son whom he receiveth.
Because if you spare the rod, you spoil the child. And you don't see him punishing Esau, man, because he wants Esau to be wicked, because that's what he was made for. But we're made for righteousness, but we have to understand the balance between the two. That's why he showed us and exposed to us what wickedness is.
Right. If ye endure chastening, Yahweh dealeth with you as with sons. For what son is he whom the father chasteneth not?
Who didn't endure chastening from the beginning in Genesis? Cain. Because the Lord said, "Hey, don't you know if your sacrifice did right by me, I would have gave you honor. But if not, sin waited for you at the door, man."
Verse 8. But if ye be without chastisement, whereof all are partakers, then are ye bastards and not sons.
So in 2/3 of our people, if you be without chastisement, we're all are partakers like these other nations.
Esau. That's saying Esau is without chastisement.
Yep. So Esau being without chastisement, you got 2/3 of our people that follow behind those ways. All right, so you're going to be counted as a dog in that day also. All right, so Esau is the front runner of wickedness. He was a murderer from the beginning. From the beginning, all he speaks about is lies, and he speaks all those lies are his, man. He's the father of lies, man. All right, go ahead.
This is Jeremiah chapter 4. I'm going to start at verse 18. In those days, the house of Judah shall walk with the house of Israel, and they shall come together out of the land of the north to the land that I have given for inheritance unto your fathers.
All right, so that's the reason for America. America means bitter. I read that again. We're supposed to go ahead and live out our bond. This is the northern and the southern kingdom coming together and living out our bondage. We're supposed to be here together, man.
All right, this is Jeremiah chapter 4, verse 18. In those days, the house of Judah shall walk with the house of Israel, and they shall come together.
That's the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. Somebody want to get Sirach 33 and 16, I think.
They shall come together out of the land of the north to the land that I have given for inheritance unto your fathers. All right, and that land that the Lord is going to give once again unto our people. All right, the northern and southern tribes, you Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, but started with the first fruits. That land is Israel, man. All right, the Lord is going to allow the elect of the northern and southern kingdom that came together and woke up, go back into that land, man. All right, because they're going to be the first fruits.
Zechariah 5:7. And behold, there was lifted up a town of lead, and this is a woman that sitteth in the midst of the ephod. Ephod represents a measuring pot. That's what America is, right? The melting pot, the measuring pot. And the woman represents Israel. And he said, this is wickedness. So the Lord mingled wickedness in here too. All right, the wicked nation, the 2/3 of my people. And he cast it into the midst of the ephod, and he cast the weight of lead upon the mouth thereof. Right, basically bondage, putting us in hell. He got the chains, right? The key to the chains and dirt. Key to death and hell, life and death. Then lift I up mine eyes and looked, and behold, there came out 2 women, and the wind was in their wings. 2 women. So we came over here, different nations, but we leaving out as 2 nations. What? The Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans. So both, yeah, that lets you know that both tribes are here. I got a precept.
You said wings? You should come with healing and wings.
No, that's something else.
All right, bring that out real quick.
All right, this is the book of Sirach, chapter 36, verse 11. Gather all the tribes of Jacob together and inherit them as from the beginning.
All right, so that's us coming back together, us being put in America to live out our bondage, and we're going to be carried into the land of Israel by those chariots.
O Lord, have mercy upon the people that is called by thy name.
All right, so now this is by us coming out here doing this work and praying and supplication, we're asking for the mercy of the Lord. All right, we're asking him to be merciful unto us when he comes to bring judgment on the earth.
And upon Israel, whom thou hast named thy firstborn, O be merciful unto Jerusalem.
Damn, so will.
Thy holy city, the place of thy rest.
The place of thy rest. So we're supposed to rest in these scriptures, man. And ultimately, we're going to rest in Israel. But this is not our rest, man. That was it. That was more. All right.
Jeremiah. I got more.
Yeah. Keep going. On verse 14 of the book of Sirach, chapter 36. Fill Zion with thy unspeakable oracles.
All right, we're unspeakable oracles. So we're the only ones that are going to be able to speak the language of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, and the elect are the only ones that are going to be able to hear.
And thy people with thy glory. Give testimony unto those that thou hast possessed from the beginning, and rise up prophets that have been in thy name.
And all this is going to be done in America, man. You're a witness to that. The northern and southern kingdom coming together, prophesying in the name of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. All right, uttering that unspeakable voice.
Reward them that wait for thee, and let thy prophets be found faithful. O Lord, hear the prayer of thy servants, according to the blessings of Aaron over thy people, that all they which dwell upon the earth may know that thou art the Lord.
So we're coming in the spirit of Aaron, cleansing the people with this word, man. Because what? They're under the honor of Melchizedek, the priesthood would change, so all of us are priests.
And what happened with Aaron? Aaron was the mouthpiece for Moses.
Good.
And now Yahushua represents Moses.
Good.
We're the mouthpiece for Yahushua. Right. Jeremiah 50:33. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together, and all that took them captive held them fast. They refused to let them go. Not just Pharaoh, but Esau as well.
Good. So you saying, and what? We're in the modern day Egypt right now, man.
Their Redeemer is strong. Yahweh of armies is his name. He shall thoroughly plead their cause, that he may give rest to the land and disquiet the inhabitants of Babylon.
Destroy this place.
Go ahead. I want to okay. It's Jeremiah 49:12.
But thus saith the Lord, behold, they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup have assuredly drunken. And art thou he that shall altogether go unpunished? All right, so what does Esau think? You gonna do all this destroying our people and you ain't gonna have nothing happen to you? Yeah, all right. Thou shalt not go unpunished, but thou shalt surely drink of it. All right, so basically, we thought we got our ass whooped, but we ain't seen no ass whooping yet until Esau get his.
Hey, look at this shirt. It's a nightmare, man. Praise the Lord, ain't it? It's a nightmare.
Imagine a nightmare for us.
I don't even know what this is.
I need to know what it is. Before the Lord. Español.
I want to know what it is. Roman Empire.
Ah, de Honduras.
You want to know if that's wicked or not.
Esa camiseta que tú tienes, fue de los romanos. Honduras, pero eso cuando like I hate Honduras. Central America. Bueno, somos los verdaderos. El nombre de Dios es Yahweh. Y el hijo se llama Yahweh Shai. No es Cristo. Ese nombre es romano con los ojos azules y el pelo largo. Ese no es el hijo de Dios.
¿Y eso por qué?
Bueno. He said, I know what he said. He said, what is this that I'm standing before the Lord? So what? He said, actually, we're Christian. I said, yeah, we're the real ones, not the fake ones. There comes the name of the Father, Yahweh, and Yahweh Hey, it's about 3 seconds. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up.
I really don't want to. I was putting that, dude. Yeah, man, you're right.
Quick injection.
Yeah, go ahead. Y'all do that.
This is 1 Thessalonians 4:15. For this we say unto you by the word of the Lord Yahweh Shai, that we which are alive and remain unto the coming of the Lord should not prevent them which are asleep.
All right, so now you have some of us that are still asleep, man. All right, but now we are alive, we're supposed to bring the ones that are able to be brought out of darkness into the light, man. All right.
The people that's in the
Oh, it's like it.
like Abba Bevins, they're gonna get their spiritual bodies first.
Right.
They already got them before us, but they still can't return. They gotta wait for the Lord.
Yeah, they gotta wait for him to show up.
Yep, so that what that means.
Right.
That's talking about Abba Bevins, Masha, and all them.
Right. So when y'all start picking up the signs, I'll wrap it up.
John chapter 14, verse 6. Yahweh Shai said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me.
And how do you come? No one can come to the Father except through Yahweh Shai. But Yahweh Shai also said, no one can come to him unless the Father draws them. So the Most High has to draw you to Yahweh Shai in order to be able to come to him. So you have to be chosen by Yahweh, ultimately. Also, the Most High, he has to put the yearning for the truth in your spirit in order for you to seek him. All right, well, you can close that. I'll close it out. All right, we're going to close out because the sky about to drop the bottom out of it. And we're going to give all praises to Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai, and the Holy Spirit of truth. And the proper names in the Hebrew tongue say Kal, Halayim, Allah, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah, Rahmah. Double honors to the elder apostles, a great millstone, and our elder Herwan as well. And salutations to the Akim that are pushing the truth and sincerity and truth, and peace and blessing to the men, women, and children that believe in the name of Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai. Shalom.
I'll say this. We gotta start earlier, because